Some states need billions in subsidies, while others are struggling to recover from the pandemic's economic impact. Today, we're counting down the 10 U.S. states going broke in 2025. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Number 10, Vermont. Surrounded by the beautiful Green Mountains, is known for its stunning landscapes, maple syrup, and colorful fall leaves. However, beneath this peaceful image lies a serious financial challenge that's becoming harder to ignore. Despite its independent charm and love for artisanal cheese, Vermont is facing growing budget deficits and soaring healthcare costs. In May 2024, former Vermont Governor Howard Dean expressed deep concern about the state's financial and political future. His warnings shed light on issues that Vermont must address urgently. Later, in September 2024, Vermont Public reported alarming news. The state's hospitals are on the brink of bankruptcy. A study revealed that Vermont hospitals would require up to $3 billion in subsidies from increased commercial insurance or taxpayer contributions to stay afloat over the next 5 years if immediate action isn't taken. By November 2024, CNBC listed Vermont as one of the top 10 states with the highest debt. The report highlighted that Vermont has a taxpayer burden of $10,900, meaning every taxpayer would need to contribute that amount to help eliminate the state's debt. These financial struggles, combined with the pressures on its healthcare system, reveal that Vermont faces significant challenges despite its serene image. Addressing these issues will require careful planning and bold decisions to secure the state's future. Number 9, Kentucky, known as the Bluegrass State, is famous for its bourbon, horse racing, and bluegrass music. Every year, the Kentucky Derby draws attention, showcasing the state's rich traditions. However, while people celebrate the fast-paced world of horse racing, Kentucky's financial troubles are growing just as quickly. According to CNBC, Kentucky is in serious financial trouble, with each taxpayer burdened with $13,200 to help cover the state's debt. Data from Truth in Accounting reveals that Kentucky is considered a sinkhole state because it doesn't have enough assets to pay its bills. The state only has $23 billion in assets, but its debts total $42.5 billion. This leaves Kentucky with a $19.5 billion financial gap. This large financial hole highlights ongoing budget issues and raises concerns about the future. Essential services like education, healthcare, and public safety could face funding challenges if the state doesn't find a solid plan to fix its finances. Without addressing these problems, Kentucky's economic struggles are likely to grow, impacting its residents and the state's overall stability. Number 8, Louisiana. Known for its jazz, gumbo, and lively Mardi Gras celebrations, has a rich and vibrant culture. However, beneath its festive charm, the Bayou State faces serious financial challenges. Like a pot of gumbo left simmering too long, Louisiana's economic troubles have been steadily bubbling over. From the devastation of Hurricane Katrina to declining oil prices affecting its energy sector, Louisiana has endured numerous economic setbacks. These challenges have left the state's budget under significant strain. As of 2024, CNBC reports that Louisiana faces a taxpayer burden of $13,400, a figure that many residents cannot realistically meet. In October 2024, Axios highlighted that Louisiana is part of the struggling belt of the United States, with many residents grappling with everyday expenses. This is despite the fact that Louisiana's cost of living is 9% lower than the national average. Housing costs are 18% lower, and utilities are 16% below the national average. However, lower living costs don't necessarily translate to financial well-being for everyone. According to the Friends Committee on National Legislation, Louisiana ranks among the top 10 hungriest and poorest states in the nation. This stark contrast between affordability and quality of life underscores deeper systemic issues. While necessities might be more affordable, many residents still face challenges like underemployment, food insecurity, and limited access to essential services. These disconnect reveals that lower living costs don't guarantee prosperity. Instead, they often mask deeper problems, such as a lack of sufficient resources and opportunities. For many in Louisiana, affordability doesn't equate to a higher quality of life, highlighting the need for systemic changes to address these long-standing issues. Number 7, Delaware. Often called the first state for being the first to ratify the Constitution, has a history rich in culture and tradition. Known for its marshlands, scenic beaches, and corporate-friendly laws, Delaware has long attracted businesses and tourists alike. But behind its charm and reputation as a business haven, the state is facing significant financial challenges. According to CNBC, Delaware residents face a taxpayer burden of $15,400 each, highlighting the growing financial strain. In June 2024, A Better Delaware reported concerns about the state's spending habits, noting a trend of overspending that isn't supported by its revenue. Over the last 3 years, Delaware spent nearly $4 billion in surplus funds, much of which came from federal aid provided during the pandemic. While this funding helped support new and expanded programs, it created a long-term problem. With federal funds now exhausted, Delaware must rely on state revenue to sustain these programs. This financial shift has left the state grappling with how to maintain services without the additional federal support. Data shows Delaware has $7.8 billion in assets to cover $14 billion in bills, leaving a financial gap of $6.2 billion. This negative financial hole underscores the state's struggle to balance its budget and pay off its obligations. Despite its business-friendly image, Delaware's current financial situation is a stark reminder that even small states with big reputations can face serious challenges. For Delaware to regain its financial footing, it will need to reassess its spending and find ways to generate sustainable revenue. Without changes, the state risks deeper financial instability, leaving its residents to bear the burden. Number 6, Hawaii, often called a paradise on Earth, is famous for its beautiful beaches, lush landscapes, and rich cultural heritage. Once a sovereign kingdom before the U.S. overthrew Queen Liliuokalani in 1893, this tropical gem has drawn visitors from around the world. However, behind the picture-perfect palm trees and hula dancers lies a harsh financial reality. Hawaii is facing significant economic challenges. According to CNBC, Hawaii has a taxpayer burden of $16,500 per resident, revealing that the state's finances are far from stable. Data from DataZ shows that Hawaii is a sinkhole state, with a financial gap of $8.9 billion. This means the state's debt far outweighs its assets, creating a serious financial imbalance. But what is causing Hawaii's money troubles? One major factor is the high cost of living. Hawaii is one of the most expensive states in the U.S., largely due to its geographical isolation. Almost everything, food, household goods, and other products, has to be imported, which drives up prices for residents. In August 2024, USA Today reported that Hawaii ranks as the most expensive state for monthly household expenses. Residents spend an average of $3,991 a month on bills like utilities, rent, and mortgages, 45% higher than the national average. Additionally, Hawaii's economy relies heavily on tourism, which is highly unpredictable. Natural disasters, global pandemics, and geopolitical tensions can all lead to sudden drops in visitor numbers, significantly impacting the state's revenue. While Hawaii's natural beauty and vibrant culture attract millions of tourists, its dependence on this single industry makes the economy vulnerable to outside forces. In short, Hawaii's financial struggles are a result of high living costs and an over-reliance on tourism. While the state remains a dream destination for many, its economic challenges paint a more complex picture for residents and policymakers alike. Number 5, California. Known for its sunny beaches, Hollywood glamour, and endless dreams, is facing a tough financial reality. Once the land of the gold rush, the Golden State is now searching for solutions to its mounting economic problems. High living costs, a growing homelessness crisis, and a tech-driven economy that's unpredictable have tarnished its shine. CNBC reports that California is dealing with a massive taxpayer burden of $177,400 per resident, highlighting the state's serious financial troubles. According to DataZ, California only has $275 billion in assets to cover its $535.5 billion in bills, leaving a significant financial gap. So, what's causing these problems? First, California's cost of living is among the highest in the country. From steep housing prices to expensive healthcare and rising transportation costs, everyday expenses place a heavy burden on residents. Many struggle to contribute the taxes needed to help reduce state debt because they're already stretched thin financially. Another major issue is the state's underfunded public employee pension system. Over the years, these pension obligations have grown significantly and now require a large portion of the state budget. This leaves less money for other important areas like education and infrastructure. In May 2024, the San Francisco Chronicle reported that California's pension liabilities had ballooned to an alarming $250 billion. These defined benefit retirement programs have become a major financial strain. Illegal immigration has also added pressure to California's budget. According to the World Population Review, the cost of illegal immigration in the state is approximately $2.76 billion annually. This accounts for about 8% of the estimated $250 billion nationwide cost, as reported back in 2018. California's financial struggles are a combination of high costs, underfunded pensions, and additional pressures from immigration expenses. While it remains a land of opportunity and innovation, the state's leaders face tough choices to address these challenges and restore its golden reputation. For now, the road ahead looks as challenging as California's winding coastal highways. Number 4 Massachusetts, known for its historic Boston Tea Party and rich culture, is a state with a reputation for top universities and passionate sports fans. But even this shining New England gem is facing financial problems. With rising costs and some budget issues, Massachusetts is struggling to keep its finances in check. According to CNBC, Massachusetts has a taxpayer burden of $225,400, leaving many residents hoping for a financial turnaround. Data from DataZ shows that the state only has $48.4 billion in assets to cover its $22.4 billion in bills. This means Massachusetts has a financial gap of $74 billion. A big reason for this is the growing cost of public services like education, healthcare, and pensions, which have increased steadily over the years. The state also faces the challenge of an aging infrastructure that needs urgent repairs. On top of that, Massachusetts has been hit by economic downturns and the effects of the pandemic, which have made things worse. Massachusetts is also committed to funding social programs and has a progressive tax system. While these programs are important, they can strain the state budget when there isn't enough revenue to cover the costs. If the state can't find a way to balance its spending and income, the financial challenges will only grow. Despite its rich history and strong reputation, Massachusetts is now facing some tough financial realities that could take years to fix. Number 3, Illinois, known as the land of Lincoln and home to Chicago, is a state with big dreams but even bigger debts. Once a thriving center of industry and agriculture, Illinois has faced many ups and downs throughout its history, from famous presidents to notorious mobsters. However, beneath the iconic Chicago skyline and famous deep dish pizza, Illinois is dealing with serious financial problems. According to CNBC, Illinois has a shocking taxpayer burden of $37,000 per person. In October 2024, the News Gazette reported that the state's financial situation was so bad that it was considered critical. A financial watchdog group, Truth in Accounting, ranked Illinois near the bottom, at number 48 in its report on the financial health of all 50 states. Data from DataZ shows that Illinois only has $58.1 billion in assets to cover its $27.2 billion in bills. The state's actual financial position is even worse, as it has $9.4 billion in debt that hasn't been fully accounted for, mainly because the state delays recognizing certain financial losses, like the decrease in retirement liabilities. One of the biggest issues is the state's pension debt. In July 2023, Illinois Policy reported that the state and local pension debt had reached a massive $218 billion. With the worst debt-to-GDP ratio and the lowest funding ratios in the country, Illinois is struggling to meet its obligations. By December 2023, unfunded liabilities for Illinois' 5 state pension systems had grown by $2.5 billion in just 1 year. All these financial troubles make Illinois' future uncertain, and without significant changes, the state could continue to face tough economic challenges. Number 2, New Jersey. New Jersey is well known for its boardwalks, diners, and heavy traffic, and has a rich history, including being the site of a key Revolutionary War battle. The state also has a mix of cultures that adds to its charm. However, behind the scenes, New Jersey faces serious financial problems. The state is dealing with budget deficits, rising pension costs, and high taxes, putting it on the brink of financial trouble. According to CNBC, the taxpayer burden in New Jersey is a shocking $42,500 per person. This has led some to question whether the state's motto should be changed to liberty with the sight of debt. Data from DataZ shows that New Jersey doesn't have enough money to cover its debts. The state only has $57.2 billion in assets, but owes $214 billion. They also pointed out that the state's financial reports are missing $35.7 billion, mainly because it delays recognizing savings from reductions in retirement costs. In February 2024, the New Jersey Monitor reported that even with an optimistic outlook, the state is facing multi-billion-dollar deficits in the coming years. A budget group from the Sweeney Center created forecasts assuming that New Jersey would fully fund state school aid, make full pension payments, support a property tax relief program, and invest $500 million into NJ Transit each year. They also assumed most costs would rise by 3% annually, with medical expenses increasing by 5.1%. Given all these factors, it's clear that New Jersey's financial outlook for 2025 looks troubling. Number 1, Connecticut. Often called the Constitution State, is known for its beautiful landscapes and charming small towns. But it also hides a serious financial problem. Once a booming place during the Industrial Revolution, with busy factories and growing insurance companies, Connecticut now faces financial trouble. It's like a cautionary tale of what can happen when money is mismanaged, much like a New England ghost story, but instead of a haunted house, it's empty bank accounts. Over the years, various mistakes, like overspending and economic struggles, have left Connecticut in a tough spot. CNBC reports that the state now carries a huge taxpayer burden of $44,500 per person. According to the CT Examiner in February 2024, both the U.S. and Connecticut are sinking deeper into debt. While the national debt gets a lot of media attention, Connecticut's growing debt often goes unnoticed. The state's rising liabilities are hidden behind budget surpluses, making it harder to see the full picture. Data from DataZ shows that Connecticut only has $21 billion in assets to cover its $859 billion in bills. This means the state has a financial hole of $64.9 billion, leaving it with more debt than it can handle. A major factor in this mess is the state's rising spending on social services, public employee pensions, and healthcare. Connecticut's pension obligations, which are among the highest in the nation, have become harder to manage over the years, causing the debt to grow. The state's tax system, which is meant to be progressive, may not be raising enough money to keep up with spending, especially when the economy slows down or tax revenues drop during tough times. In September 2024, the Connecticut investigator reported that the state is struggling to recover economically after the pandemic. It's falling behind the rest of the country in both GDP and job growth, which adds to the financial challenges. With these ongoing issues, Connecticut's financial future looks uncertain. Without changes to its spending, tax policies, and efforts to manage pension liabilities, the state could continue to face major economic difficulties. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video insightful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more.